Hello and welcome back once again to Movie Reviews. So today I went and saw a movie. It's been out for a little while, but I actually forgot all about it till I was reading back through my notebook because I write down all the previews that I want to see as well. I saw this one and I looked to see if it was playing, and sure enough it's playing here at my home theater. So I came and saw it, and that would be Left Behind. Nicolas Cage movie. Of course you gotta love everything Cage does. When I first saw the preview for this, I thought, okay, it's basically going to be like Langoliers with a religious overtone. And more or less I was right. Right out of the gate, it starts off with a religious message. A religious debate, I should say. This guy's walking through the airport. Apparently he's someone famous or whatever. As this girl's coming home from college on vacation because it's her father's birthday. The guy who's sort of a celebrity is getting attacked by, one of the religious fanatics. Like, well, the Bible says this and the Bible says that, and the end of times is coming. So the daughter steps in and has it out with this lady, kind of rescuing him from having to deal with it. Then they she walks away, and he kind of comes over and sits down and starts talking to her. So it's a boy meets girl story. And he's kind of like, it seems like you've been rehearsing that for a while. And she goes, yeah, my mother's the same way. And, basically, we always have a similar debate. So then you find out that her father's a pilot who it's like I said, it's his birthday, but he has to take a flight. So she waits for him at the airport, runs into him, and, kind of confronts him about it. So then she goes home and her mother's there, and they're just having drink of lemonade out on the porch. And she's telling her mother, "Oh, I met the famous guy. I told him you were a big fan of his." And her mother's like, "Oh, that's really nice." And then she kind of says, "Not everyone thinks you're not the only one who thinks the world's going to end. This lady, this religious nut attacked him at the thing." And then she's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to come out that way." And then the mother starts, trying to talk to her about being open-minded to it. It really doesn't go into too much detail. And then the daughter's like, "I'm not ready to have this huge debate with you, Mom." And it's like, really? Your mother really didn't say anything? You're the one that started it? And, even though you apologized, your mother really was just like, "I understand you're not ready for it, but I want you to be open-minded to it." And that was all she said. That was where the thing ended, and then the daughter just, freaks out and walks away. So it's like, you're the one who started the thing, not her. But, yeah, basically the mother's the bad guy because she's found God. So then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the girl leaves and takes her little brother to the mall. The dad's on the flight. And then suddenly the rapture happens. Millions of people, thousands, millions, disappear in the blink of an eye. Only thing left behind is their clothing and personal possessions, just their physical body is gone. So then everyone's running around, panicking, trying to figure out what happened. Of course, as is human, everyone at the mall starts looting. They're picking up purses that were left behind by people who were raptured and start taking money out of the wallets. Some guy's stealing a 42-inch TV and carrying it out on his shoulder. Yeah, right. And then, as the girl's trying to get home to check on her mother, these guys drive by on a motorcycle and grab her backpack. And it's like, really? Is that all the world comes to as soon as a bunch of people start disappearing, we start looting? Whatever. So then she gets home, and she checks her phone because it says that there's a message, and it happens to be from her father. He'd been trying to call her, but there's no satellite service. So the phone finally rings through as an emergency is happening on the plane, and it cuts out, so she thinks her father's dead. So basically, just keep going back and forth between her running around and then her dad on the plane. So then, the dad finally gets in touch with the tower to try and land the plane. Spoilers. Jesus, car show. So he finally gets in touch with the tower, and they're like, there's no place to land here. All the runways are jammed because everybody just disappeared. All these planes are lined up. All the you could land it in the road, but all the roads are blocked. Traffic's crazy. So he's getting, he's basically like, I gotta find a place to land. So then he gets in touch with the daughter and tells her what's going on because the phone reception finally starts working. There's another event that happened prior to her getting in contact with him, but I don't want to spoil that because it was kind of a predictable moment in the movie. I knew it was going to happen, but it was kind of a funny build-up. Well, not really. It's just, like, the moment it happened, it actually made me laugh, but it's only because I knew it was coming. So then the father finally gets in touch with her, says, I need a place to land, but all the roads are blocked and the runways are blocked, and, I have so just in case the worst happens, I want you to know that I love you. So then she starts running through town trying to find a place for him to land. She finds a motorcycle on the ground, gets on it, starts riding. She's going down all these roads, not a single car anywhere. Actually, 3 cars drive past her, and the roads are completely open. They're driving like nothing was going on. So then, she finds a place for them to land. Of course, the plane lands just inches from crashing into this fuel tanker that would have caused a big explosion and probably killed everyone. So it's got that little cheap out moment as well, like, oh, aw. Yeah, well, not really aw, but you knew it was coming. They weren't going to hit it. So then everyone gets off the plane, and I think one of them says something about, at least the worst is over, and she goes, no, unfortunately, it's just begun, because earlier, as she was talking to the minister, who was still there, which was kind of a surprise, but he explained why he was still there. He was explaining that, in Revelations, that the rapture would lead to 7 years of darkness, and then, God, it's been so long since I even read it, I don't remember how it all goes. Yeah, so he basically tells her, there's 7 years of darkness coming. So once the other guy's like, it looks like the end of the world, at least the worst is over, and she goes, no, unfortunately, it's just begun. And, of course, she's reunited with not only her father, but the boy, or the guy she met, the celebrity guy. So it's kind of like a love story between, boy meets girl, boy and girl fall in love, can't stop thinking about each other even though you just met an hour ago, kind of like Disney-ish. And, they're still, so happy that each other are fine and, so in love with each other when the plane lands. And it's literally been a matter of, 6 hours, if that. Actually, maybe a little bit closer to 7. But yeah, so that's more or less the movie. I know it's based on a book, and the book did have sequels, so I don't know if there's going to be a sequel to this. I heard this one might not have really done that well. I haven't checked the numbers on it. So not sure if a sequel will ever come, but it does leave opening for a sequel. But if not, just where it ended is fine. It just shows everyone standing next to the plane, helicopter shot away. And that's, well, maybe a boom arm, crane lift, whatever you want to call them. Lifts up, pans away, and that's it, fade to black. So as far as a star rating on this one, well, it wasn't a horrible film, but like I said, it was more or less just Langoliers, but in Langoliers, the only reason everyone disappeared was because they were awake, and it was only the people that happened to be asleep on the plane that survived. Spoilers. In this one, it was anyone who had found God in their life that disappeared, and everyone who hadn't remained. Overall, I kind of like the Langoliers better, but, this wasn't a bad film. So as far as a star rating, I'm going to give it a 3. Like I said, it was basically a movie I've seen before and hit a lot of obvious points. It just had the religious undertone to it, so I think I'm going to rate it about a 3. Average middle-of-the-road movie. Yeah, not much more to say about it other than that. If you like the Langoliers, check it out, because it's basically the same type of movie, just with a different way of why it happened. But other than that, that's it for this episode of Movie Reviews. I'm not sure what I'm getting up to next, not sure when my next day off is, but I'll be back with something eventually. And until then, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of Movie Reviews.